Here we go. Episode 118 of the Trash Talk Business Podcast, your weekly live dose of all things junk removal. We are here to grow, scale, and build your junk removal dream. So whether or not you're into junk removal, you're doing it as a side hustle, you've thought about it for years, you've been doing it for 20 years, this is the place where we come to share knowledge and expertise to make this industry that much better. I'm your host, Andy Weins, and today I'm joined by Jack Lauber. It's like slobber without the S. And as you know, that is the extent of the research I've done with Jack. So, Jack, tell me why you're here and what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, so I ran across your podcast on Spotify. I've listened to a few episodes now. I've been wanting to get myself out there, getting myself in more uncomfortable situations, and one of them is being on podcasts for me. So, been wanting to get myself out there a little bit more, contribute more to my social media, which is why I'm here, personally, why I'm here. And then the other reason, obviously, why I'm on a Trash Talk podcast is I own a junk removal and demolition business here in Missouri. Been doing it since the beginning of 2023. Started basically January 1st, 2023. It's supposed to be a side hustle. It is not a side hustle anymore. We are full blown into it, sweating, bleeding, getting skinny every day.
I like it. All right. So let's the question I always love to ask, why junk removal? Why did you get into this industry?
Yeah, so my path was, I think, a little bit different than most people. So before I was in junk removal, I worked for a real estate investor who flipped houses, wholesaled houses, had rental properties, did all that stuff. I learned how to do that from him. I spent 2 years working for him, and then I spent a year out doing it on my own. I bought several rental properties, flips in that first year. That was 2022. At the end of 2022, I really had that business built up to where I had about 30 single-family rentals. I had done about 4 flips, was working on my 5th at the time. But I had it systemized really well. I had the operation run really well, and I wasn't spending a ton of time actually working. I was basically I kind of tell people, I was kind of like a point man. It's like pointing at, okay, now the contractor goes, now the property manager goes, now the banker needs to refinance. And, my time was my own. And I'm a busy bee. I'm a go-getter. And I wanted to start a side hustle. That was my goal for 2023. I was sitting down having a beer with a buddy of mine. I said, hey, I think I'm thinking about starting a side hustle. I'm thinking about junk removal. I'm seeing it in all these houses that I'm doing. And in fact, thinking about like a junk removal demolition hybrid. I was like, let's target investors and go in and do their junk removal, do their demo, leave it really clean. We can go in, kind of look at the property, look at the project through their lens, because I'm already doing this, and help them get there faster. I don't think, I was very well connected in that space. I was like, I don't think we're going to have much of an issue. And he was a little hesitant. I remember he went to the bathroom, and I called the contractor I was using at that time. And I said, hey, if you had to pinpoint an expense, or the largest expense, or the most consistent expense that you see on every job, what would it be? And he said, by far, cleanouts and construction debris removal. And I said, okay. I said, if I started a construction cleanup, before I really even knew what junk removal was, it's like, if I started a junk removal business, could I bid on your jobs? And he said, absolutely. That was Thursday at 2:00. Andy, by Monday the next morning, I had $4,500 in work lined up. And we just hit the ground running. Yeah, just him and I with my truck and trailer for 4 months. And then we eventually bought an Isuzu NPR with a big, nice 20-yard dump on the back. Yep. And now we built it up to where we've got a team of 4 guys, and we're running 3 trucks.
I like it. And are you doing primarily flip work still, or are you doing a little of everything?
Yeah, so I'd say if we had a customer concentration, I would put it in two categories. One, real estate investors, and that real estate investor is it's going to encompass flippers. It's going to encompass people that own rentals. It's going to encompass property managers. And then the second biggest one for us is high-end remodelers. Mm-hmm. We actually do quite a bit of demo work. So I kind of go after the high-end remodeler. I have a very specific remodeler that I target, interior remodel, that does about 3 to 5 projects at a time, because they're at that size. They're large enough to where they can't do the work themselves, but they're still small enough where they're not dealing with a crew. So they're subcontracting just about everything. So I target those, and we go. And yesterday we finished today's Monday, Friday we finished big. It was like a $5,500 kitchen and lower level demo where we moved all the flooring, gutted everything down. We're getting to the point where we're pretty efficient at those and making some money on them.
Are you still out there in the field banging jobs every day?
No. So I was when we first started in 2023. I was in the field for about 4 months, and then summer came around, and we were able to hire college help. I still ran the demo jobs at that time, but at that time we were doing maybe 1 to 2 demo jobs every 3 weeks, I'd say.
Okay.
By the end of that summer, we thought we had a contingency plan in place to have as our employees went back to college, we thought we had a plan in place. The guy started, he lasted a week. It was too difficult for him. So we were back in the field for a little bit, but since then we've got a really good team. Other than when we're really busy doing 5 to 10 demo jobs a week, I'm in the field 2 or 3 times a month.
And what is your mix between, if you can break it down in 3 categories: residential junk removal, commercial junk removal, and commercial demo? What percentage of your business in each bucket?
Yeah, good question. So I would say residential junk removal is probably about 10 to 15% of our business.
Okay.
I would say the commercial junk removal is going to be about, maybe the other 35 to 40. And then I'd say demo is probably about half of our business now, which is interesting. That totally turned on its head since a year ago. A year ago, we were probably 80% junk removal between commercial and residential leads and about 20% demo. The reason, what I've liked and what I found about demo is the logistics of it are just easier. A lot of the projects we do, the houses are on lockbox, so we can go and we don't have to meet anybody there. We don't have to worry about a client being late. It's easier logistically for me to tell my guys, hey, we're just going to this house today. It's not you're Susie at 10 and you're meeting Sally at 11:30, and hey, you need to bid the job. It's bring the tools, do your work, go home at 3:30 or 4.
Yeah, I mean, you're running a much more traditional home services contractor business, less of a waste industry logistics business. That's what I talk about when it comes to when it comes to our industry, junk removal. We really have 3 different sectors, right? We have the waste industry, we have traditional home services, and then we have logistics, right? Those are the 3 areas we kind of dabble in, and every business leans. Like I lean heavy on logistics, because of our recycling facility and our box trucks and everything else. And I started, same with you. I started do a lot of demos and construction debris cleanup because I knew my father. He's a remodeler, and we did some jobs for him and people he knew. And we grew up that part of our business really big. And we've remodeling as an ebbed and flowed for us. Right now it's slow because the economy's slow. The first thing that our GCs cut is demo. They'll have their carpenters do it,
right?
Or they'll self-perform. Because, like you said, if they have 3 or 5 projects going on at once, awesome. If they have 1 or 2 or 2 or 3, then their carpenters are always looking for more work.
Exactly. Yep.
So that's the fickleness. And real quick, where are you located again? I think you said Missouri, or where are you at?
Yeah, I'm in St. Louis, Missouri.
Okay, St. Louis. Okay, got it.
Yeah. So yeah, I totally agree with you there, and it's why I've extremely specific on the contractors that we target. They're bringing us. I kind of quantify it into 3 buckets. Our clients into 3 buckets, and I base it by revenue. It's like our $30,000 a year client, our $60,000 a year client, and then our like $100,000 a year client. Those $30,000 a year clients, they'll give us 1 to 2 decent sized jobs per month. $1,200 to $2,500 job a month, and for us, especially, it's the more you do it, the faster you get. When we started demoing, like we'll say master bath, like a shower and a jacuzzi tub and all that stuff, it'd take us 2 days. Now we're down to like 6 to 7 hours to get it done, and our labor cost hasn't jumped up hardly anything at all.
And you said you said you had is the business partner you have the same guy that was flipping or was doing property management with you before?
No, so my business partner was having the beer with.
Oh, got it. All right. What was his background?
He was actually an account manager for a food distribution business.
Seems like a logical path. So he jumped in. So it was you and him on the truck day 1 and just said, "Fuck it, let's go."
Absolutely. And I was actually
Right.
an accountant. I was an accountant before real estate, before flipping houses. So no logical path at all.
No, I mean that's the thing. I grew up in the industry. I know people that are military that jumped into it. I know people that hell, the one guy, he started trash removal business because he gave $5 to a guy for picking up the trash. He's like, you pay him $5, like $20 a month. He's like, yeah. He's like, fuck, I do it for $5. Like that was his entire business started by giving a guy $20 a month to pick up trash.
Wow.
Fuck, I remember he had orange cans. I can't remember his name. Maybe Taylor will remember his name. Taylor's my back brain inventory. He was probably on 6 months ago. Remember he was in Michigan. Cool dude. Fuck, Taylor, hold on. Taylor just hit something in private chat. Taylor probably, I'll track it down. He said, all right, Taylor's pretty good for it.
Like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, that's why I have a producer, so someone else can be the brains of the operation.
Right.
So I can sit there and bullshit for an hour. Yeah. Well, see, but and that's why I asked even if you were in the field. For me, I know where I do my best work. It's like, hey, Andy, show up and do the thing. Whatever the thing is you need me to do, like see ball, hit ball, I'm that guy. My brother and I first started it. I ran demo crews for my dad's company, who was a remodeler, and I understood demo and I was decent at it. I never was in love with it. And my brother really loved it. He was really good at it. And so really from day one, doing the tactical junk removal was never a priority for me. And I've done hundreds of jobs, thousands of estimates, through the last 8 years doing it full time. First 6 years, 7 years, it was me and my brother. That was our side hustle. We did the side hustle for 7 years because I was going to college. I had all these excuses for not getting into business ownership. It wasn't a priority. Alex Cole, there it is. Alex Cole, shout out Alex Cole, A1 waste removal out there somewhere in BFE, Michigan. There we go. Alex Cole.
That he started because he was paying somebody $20 a month.
Yeah, I want to say he was like a mechanic or something, and his boss was like, "Hey, give this $20 bill to the garbage guy." He's like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Oh yeah, it's $5 a week for him to come pick up our trash." And he's like, "Shit, for $5, I'll take your trash." Yeah. Like that was the epiphany of him starting his business. He's like, "Shit." He's like, "If I can get 100 customers, it's $2,000 a month. Fuck it, I'm gonna do that." And like that was it. That was the extent of his. And now I can't remember what his customer count was, like 800-900, and still growing. And like he started with a pickup truck and then upgraded to a little dump truck, upgraded to a full trash truck, and like I want to say there was a funny story with him. Like he traded a truck. I think he traded a truck for like 100 new garbage cans. It's like that's what he had to do at the time, like in order to scan it, so he had to like sell his original truck for like $2,000 to get buy a bunch of garbage. Yeah, that was a good episode. He was a funny fucking dude.
We use those too, man. Those heavy duty plastic garbage cans, man, they're expensive.
Oh yeah. My warehouse is full of cans I pulled off jobs because every house you clean out, you leave with 2 garbage cans. Whenever you do a full house clean out, like I refuse to buy equipment when it's like we come across this stuff all the time. Right. There we go. Taylor said episode 85. So it's like 30 episodes. There we go. 6 months, 30 episodes. Yeah, I know what the fuck I'm talking about. There you go. Yeah, Taylor did verify he sold his truck to buy garbage cans. See, my memory, steel trap, right? A lot of, 118 episodes later, I remember some things. I remember good stories along the way. All right, accountant turned into junk removal. So now what's the goal? Now that you've got your feet wet, you've been into it 18 months. You've got a nice blend of business. What's next? Where are you on track to? What are you on track to do?
Yeah, so I could sit here and say a revenue goal. I think that's a little cliche, honestly. Yep. What I want to do is I want to develop leaders. I want to develop leaders within my business, and I want to continue to buy or start other businesses and continue to grow. I did the real estate thing for a while, still kind of doing it, and it's a great wealth building tool, but it's a long-term tool. After starting this business, I just love building and growing a business. I love putting out the fires. I love dealing with it. So I think, as I grow, or as where I want to go is I want to develop the people around me and see what else we can do. Use them selfishly as a way to start more businesses so I can make more money for myself, and in turn give them opportunities to make more money. That's
so really right now, your crew it's you and your business partner. Yep. And four guys, or is he one of the 4 guys that's in the field still?
No. He's I would say he's in the field more than I am.
Yep.
But no, we have a team leader
Yep.
who's really our demolition team leader. He runs pretty much all of our demo jobs, unless they're extremely complicated. Then I run them.
Yep.
And we have, the industry probably calls them laborers. We call them runners.
Yeah.
Who are running the debris out.
Humping buckets, bucket humpers. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we like to have, on a demo job, we like to have one guy demoing and one guy running. We can do
Yep.
that. As soon as it comes down off the wall, it's in the truck. And
Yep.
then, the junk jobs are run obviously a little bit differently, but the other thing that I love about the jobs is when you get a bid or when you get somebody reaching out to you for a job, obviously your goal is to get that thing for as much money as you possibly can. And once you land the job, that number is typically locked, right? Maybe they add some stuff on. Maybe you run into something you didn't see and you can increase that number. But the goal after that number is locked, and once you've secured the job, is okay. Now how can I increase my profit? And that's what I'm controlling costs, being efficient. How do we get this thing How do we get this thing done as efficiently as possible, as fast as possible, with as few mistakes as possible? I love that. I absolutely love it.
So what are some of the tips there? I mean, so we have people that varying experience that listen to the show. So what are the things that you've implemented to just drive efficiency, right? Obviously, decrease costs, increase speed. So what are some things you've done?
Yeah, so in junk jobs, one of the things that we like to do is, and this has worked out well, is we always have two guys working together. There's never any separation. It's never you do this room and you do this room. There's at least two guys working together. You get everything done in that room as quickly, as efficiently as you can. A lot of times when the guys are working together, inherently they're going to race each other and they don't even realize it. Or there's synergies involved where, if they were there by themselves, it'd be like one guy working. But if two guys are in there, it's going to feel like three guys are working. So we always do that. Whenever we have run into full basements, we're always doing assembly lines. A guy at the bottom of the steps, a guy at the middle of the steps, a guy at the top of the steps. We're getting it upstairs as fast as we can. So there's some efficiencies that we like to use on junk jobs. You can get into efficiencies on when to use dumpsters and when to use our trucks and all that stuff. And then a lot of efficiencies that we like to use on demolition jobs is I qualify all the tasks as dust and non-dust activities. We go through and we get all the non-dust activities first. Those done first, while other guys are site prepping the house or wherever we're working on, or doing dust control, putting up plastic, putting down brand board, whatever it may be. So that once we get into those dust activities, we're set up. And I'm sure you've dealt with it, Andy. When you're tearing into drywall and ripping all that stuff out, as little as dust as you can breathe in as possible.
Oh yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah. I like that idea of, dust versus non-dust. I always look at it as get everything done. So the dirtiest thing is done last. So we're not tracking, we're not blowing around. Yeah. I never thought about that. Yeah, all right. Absolutely. Taylor's yelling at me. Said my video is frozen. I'm going to hop out of this and then I'm going to hop right back in. Hold on a second.
Okay.
Taylor and I are both pressing the same button. All right, I'm back. Am I moving? Are we good, Taylor? Taylor, give me the green light. All right, Taylor's in charge. I have no say in this matter. All right, video's not frozen. All right, here we go. Technology, we kicked its ass. Yeah, so those two tips I love, yes, this, we have, when we do large house cleanouts, we'll send anywhere from 4 to 8 guys in it. And I tell them, pound out one room at a time and celebrate the fucking rooms along the way. I mean, you go to a living room with 8 guys, that's one trip for everybody, right? So you got on a couch, 2 guys on a recliner, 2 guys on a recliner, 1 guy that grabs a couple side tables, maybe there's a TV and a TV stand, and it's like, all right, good, right? Same with a bedroom. It's like, all right, everyone grab a dresser and a mattress. And you kick it in the hallway and just grab it. Kick it in the hallway, grab it. Kick it in the hallway, grab it. Kick it in the hallway, grab it. I do like your assembly line bucket methodology. We've done that in the past. And now, as you say it out loud, I was thinking about the Ford trailer job I did the S-Min for last week that we're doing next week.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's 4 trailers, all to the basement, a lot of smalls. So it's like, yeah, pack 30 buckets, 20 buckets, whatever it is. And then assembly line that ass up. Otherwise, yeah, you constantly are walking those stairs and taking one step and a handoff versus, 13 steps up and down.
Rotate the guys.
Yeah. And then, no, it's simple things like that. And I know our guys do in the field. I mean, I'm on a job a month, if that, and even me doing an estimate last week, it was convenient because it was near my house and I was working from home that day. So I am out of a lot of that day-to-day stuff. And that's the kind of stuff that is important for our listeners because we hired a guy recently and he was working for one of the franchise junk removal companies. And they basically were just like, yeah, just figure it out. Like, get there and figure it out. Like, they taught them the corporate ease and they taught them how to lift things. They didn't really teach them how to pack trailers, how to pack trucks, how to take on a multi-trailer job, when the logistics of it. Like you said, your goal always is to simplify. And that's my thing. That's one of the reasons why we do box trucks, dump trucks, truck and trailer, right? We have different methodologies because, when we go to a 3-trailer job, we can take a box truck and it's only one truck we have to load. And then the question is, hey, stage the truck with your anticipation of unloading, right? Stage it so we put, all the big furniture at the very end because the first stop we're going to go is Habitat, unload what we can for big furniture. Then we'll go unload donations. Then we'll go to the warehouse and unload scrap, and we'll run a dump truck in tandem. So the little bit of MSW that we have gets put on a dump truck. So we're not double handling it. So, we can dump garbage cans in the, right there on site, which is different for us because we ran a logistics company first mindset. Wherein we never had dump trucks. I was anti-dump truck for the longest time because I wanted us to sort the shit out of things. And it was good because people, our guys learned the best practices. We developed best practices. It's really simple to put everything into a trash truck and take it to the top of the landfill, the transfer station, dump it out the ass end and never think about it again. Like I understand human nature. I have been, on jobs at 4, 5, 6 o'clock at night and it's 85 degrees out and 89%, 90% humidity. And you're like, I'm the fuck over it. Right. I'm the owner of the company. And I've had those moments where yeah. So when you're paying some guy $15 an hour, the likelihood of that happening is more.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And they are, not only you're paying them that, and it's hard work. It's hard work for sure. I had that happen to one of our crews. I sent them at about 4 p.m. to go get a fridge out of the basement. And you can tell they had a screw it moment. Ripped up this wall. I was, as much as I get it, it was just like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
We've all done that.
There's a percentage of jobs that go to shit. That is the math, right? We average about 200 jobs a month. And so it's like, even at 99%, we're going to have 2 jobs that we have damage on, right?
Right.
I'd say it's probably closer to 98%. I'd say probably it's closer to 2% of jobs we have damage or a preventable stupid something, something stupid. Like you get random customer complaints, 98% customer satisfaction because stupid shit, Also, the later in the day, the more likely dumb shit happens, right? Yeah, you're doing a fridge, a fridge or freezer removal in a basement at 4 o'clock. That's a 15-minute job or an hour job and nothing in between, right? Somehow it's not going to be anything in between. And 15 minutes is like, that's the full on get there, take the doors off, take the railing off, take the doors off the fridge, carry it up the stairs, put it all back together, 15 minutes and out. Like doing that 100% right. And the hour is fuck around, dick around, break something, wreck something, dig, spend 20 minutes moving shit in the basement just to get to the fridge to pull it out. To realize you don't have the right size socket wrench to pull out the damn what is it, a quarter inch or 3/8? It's either a quarter inch or a 3/8 nut on top or a bolt on top. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Get halfway up the stairs and realize it won't fit through the doorway.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Oh, we've all done.
Yep. Or you're like a lot of houses in the Midwest here. Like we have the basement stairs go out the back door. Well, the back door is normally a 32-inch door, while the front door is a 36-inch door. And all of a sudden you get the fridge on the top of the stairs, and you're like, oh shit. Now I have to go through the house. It's like we had this recently, and it's like, well, they remodeled the kitchen.
Yeah.
So we couldn't go out the back door at first, right? And we couldn't go through the kitchen because they didn't have the space needed between the countertop. Thankfully, one of the 2 corner cabinets was loose. It was an independent cabinet. So we had to pull the cabinet out, pull it out, and then make the corner. And of course, no one tells us that, right? And then like as we're doing it, they're like, oh yeah, no, this cabinet comes loose because we had to do this another time. You're like, well, that would have been great to know when we got here at first, right? Like,
yeah, no kidding.
That's the joy of junk removal, right? I mean, I sit here and I laugh about it now because it's like, yeah, that shit happens.
Oh,
tape measure's your best friend.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I wanted to ask you while we're on here, and especially since you said you're doing 200 jobs a month, what's the best marketing channel for you guys?
Networking. So networking, last year was 52% of our revenue. This year, let me just pull the data. I'm not going to guess. I ain't got time to guess. Let me just pull the data. I know I looked at it. Well, we also have our KPI meeting next week where we really look at that data more in depth. Let me take a look.
Yeah, because we're in the exact same boat.
Yeah, so 2913. Yeah, so 45%. 45% of our jobs are coming from networking. 23% are online. 24% online. So that's Google, Facebook, and other pay to click ads. Historically, that's about 25%. So 24% we're within tolerance there. Networking, like I said, last year was 52%. This year aggregate is 46%. And then referral from customers 16%. And then visibility, the last one is only 4%. That historically was more.
Visibility.
That's our trucks, wrap trucks. Right. And then we got some ankle biter stuff. Yeah. So hillbilly math is, 45% networking, 25% online, and 17% referral. So that's customer employee referral, and that's all new business. So that is all new customers, not existing customers.
Gotcha.
So existing to repeat business.
Yeah,
that does throw me off because I look historically. Visibility of our trucks. Actually, I say look at last year. Trucks numbers from last year are similar. A little bit higher tick up on the a slightly higher tick up on the networking side of things. 29, 15, just carrying the one. Yeah, but still similar buckets. And last year was less than 20% on the online. So more referral last year, less online, but still the top three. It's still the top three.
What are you doing for networking, or what do you quantify as networking?
Go to networking events. Go to trade shows, go to we just golf outings. All the things wherein we are meeting people, right? The B2B2C play, right? Yeah. We have a golf outing on Wednesday for a real estate company, right? So we're gonna go there. There's gonna be 120 realtors. We're gonna say hi, give them some koozies, shoot the shit, and when they have a listing, they're gonna refer it to us. That is networking. Referrals we look at as only customer referrals. Right, because we used to group those two things together, and I'm like, well, those are the activities are two very different things, right? For a referral from a customer, right, we utilize Nice Job to solicit reviews. We hand them a thank you card through Jobber, getjobber.com. Shout out Jobber, my fucking Jobber mug, no big deal in frame.
All right, there they are.
Fucking love Jobber. We have some automations built in to retarget those customers, right?
Yeah,
and then. Networking, though, it's sign up for chambers, going to events, one-on-ones. We do lunch and tours of our facility. So we bring people in. I have lunch with them. We do about 15, 20-minute facility tour of how we recycle material here. And then, they learn. We also do bigger lunch and tours with groups of 15 to 20. We do at least one of those a month or so. We got one this Thursday. So it's all those things.
Who's coming?
What's that?
Who is coming to those the lunch and tours?
Sometimes we invite realtors only. Okay. We'll pick our real estate group. We'll pick out a date. We'll email them, blast them. Tell their sales managers about it, and we'll talk about it. I mean, we're in real estate offices every week, so we're constantly talking about it. One we're having this week is it's a networking group, and we're part of the group, and it's a rotating group. So it's like 1 week you're at whatever company, next week you're at the next company. So we're a networking group. So, but we also do through the chambers. We've done lunch and learns. We've done business after fives. We've done coffee connections. I mean, you name a fucking event, I'm like, sign me up. Right, and events for us can be as small as sometimes you get a real estate team and like, yeah, our team's 5 people. It's like, cool, let's have lunch. Come on by. We'll get lunch and we'll do a tour. And we've also done, I think the most we've ever hosted here was about 225.
Oh,
I think
wow.
it was between 200 and 225. That's when we did a big open house. So when I rebought the company, I did a rebrand and a relaunch. There's over 200 people here, and so that is like we get this chamber, Eventbrite, all the things. The huge competitive advantage we have is our environmental responsibility. There's no other facilities in the country that I know of, and I've been saying this for years now, and I would love to go see somebody else's facility that does the level of sorting, storing, and shipping that we do. And so that's our key. We got 27,000 square feet here at this facility. We dedicate about 20,000 of it to our recycling operations. I've been fortunate to have a lot of junk removal companies come and visit through the years. My buddy Taylor from Up and Away, he's come up here. Casey Bubba Lawrence, my co-host of this show, way before we were business partners, he came up here. So through the years, I've had a lot of people that fly in to see our facility, and I've had that invite open for anybody in junk removal. You want to come see what a recycling facility looks like? Come see it. So that's what we do. I mean, we also go to parades and we go to ribbon cuttings and we go to the weekly fucking breakfast. I mean, all the things. My goal is simple. I don't want competition, right? I want to be the only choice, right? When people say, "Hey, who do you refer?" A couple weeks ago was one of the local buy sell trade Facebook groups, and they're like, "Hey, who can do junk removal?" Right? And someone tagged me and our business, and 7 of the 9, within the first hour, 7 of the 9 tagged me or tagged Camo Crew. So I'm like, okay, in that market, we got a 75% saturation, right? If 7 of 9 refer us, right, we're doing something right in that community.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Here, actually, I think I saw this guy, Eddie. Let's throw this out real quick. All right, rookie, what would you do? What would you do? Question. What would you do if it's Sunday night and there's no jobs for the week? I'm almost, Eddie, if you're listening live, correct me if I'm wrong. I think I saw this last night or yesterday in one of the groups, whether it was him or someone else. Pound the fucking pavement. There's the answer. You're not going to make money sitting in your office or your basement or your house or your apartment waiting for the fucking phone to ring. Movement begets momentum. Get out there, park your ideally wrapped truck. If you don't have a wrap truck, tape a couple yard signs to the side of it so it looks like it's fucking wrapped, right? Get your truck out there and start cold knocking, cold calling, talking to whomever that might know somebody that knows something. Go to the chambers, go to the real estate companies, go to senior living, go to where your customers might be and pound the fucking pavement. I remember our first summer in business. I went out to senior living and I was 0 for 9. My goal when I went out was to get our flyers or our trifolds into their welcome packets. And I went to 9 different senior living facilities in between estimates or whatever. And I was 0 for 9. And I came back to my brother and my business partner. I was like, okay, you guys just like made $1,000 a day and banged out some jobs. And I basically drove around and walked into air conditioned senior living facilities and was told no. And my brother's like, all right, well, do it again tomorrow. Right? Because we had no estimates on this court. There was no networking events. I didn't have shit else to do. So the next day I went like 11 for 13. Right? And it's like, all right, well, that was the averages, right? Had I quit at 9, I'd have never got the 10th one and then the 11th one, right? So law of averages still worked out 50%, right? Hillbilly math still said it went.
For sure.
It did. I remember back in January, February of 2009, I got laid off. I had like $200 in my fucking name. And I went to FedEx Kinko's, or not FedEx, I went to Office Max, and I got 100 like bright green piece of paper with just black text, single color, right? And I was clutter busters, no LLC, no shit. And I drove around and just stuffed mailboxes I'm sorry, not 100. I got 1,000 of them, 1,000 of these. And I went and stuffed fucking mailboxes. That's what I did all day for like 2 days straight. So I was stuffing the fucking, the newspaper slot, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know shit. And yet 15 years later, I remember doing it and I remember it worked. Right. I got a few phone calls. I did a couple jobs. I cleaned out a couple garages. You got to do something. So if it's, and here's the other thing I'll tell you. them first couple years in business, especially that first summer, it'd be Sunday night. And I'd look. At the time, we had 4 or 5 guys, 3 trucks, that first summer. Within 90 days of us starting the business, we had 5 guys and a few trucks. And it'd be Sunday night. And we'd have like maybe 2 trucks worth of work on Monday, maybe a truck and a half on a Tuesday, and dick else the rest of the week. I remember every Sunday night I would fucking panic like clockwork.
Yeah.
And by midday Tuesday, I'd be like, how the fuck are we getting all this work done because the schedule filled up? That was 8 years ago. Nothing's changed. There are Sunday nights where I'm looking at the schedule, right? And my goal is to be 75% booked at all given times, right? So we'll just do simple hillbilly math, right? If your capacity is $2,000 a day, right? That's about an average. If you're a 1 truck operation, right? $2,000 a day about capacity. And again, I'm not looking to fucking argue. I need simple hillbilly math so y'all can follow along. All right. Good. So capacity is $10,000 on the week, right? Because Saturdays are bonus days. We don't run Saturdays anymore. We used to, and I looked at them as always bonus days. Post-COVID, we don't run them anymore because people generally don't want to run Saturdays. They want their weekends as much as we want ours. So your capacity is 10,000. We would normally start the week with about 2,500, 3,000, right? 25 to 30% capacity. My goal is to be at 75% capacity at all times. So I want $7,500 on the books for that week because I want some space still for those last minute jobs, those emergency jobs, those realtors, right?
Right.
I don't want to have $11,000 in the books. Now I'm over capacity, which means something's going to get stretched.
Right.
Either my warehouse is going to fill up, or back then my garage is going to fill up, or we're going to have to drop a trailer, right, and empty it on the weekends because we're going to have to drop and go a trailer, or we're going to run out of time and run out of daylight. So now we're working until 8 or 9 o'clock at night because we don't have any time to unload. Or we're going to run out of fucking guys and we're going to have to, call up some random dishwasher we know to go bang jobs with us on a fucking Thursday afternoon. Right? And so my goal is to be at 75% capacity. And I get nervous when I'm below 25%. Like that's the, oh shit, we are fucked kind of mindset. And the thing is about when it comes to marketing and sales, it is consistency over time. The challenge is especially in the residential sector, commercial is much more stable because they're consistently getting work, which means you're consistently getting work. On the residential sector, you need to be consistent in your sales and marketing efforts. When you're having a banging ass week, you gotta go out there and fucking go to networking events or cold call or do whatever it is you do. I seen this one cat the other day on one of the Facebook groups. He's like, yep, 200 yard signs. I started at midnight. I'm going to go till 6 a.m. Right. And so for 6 hours, he put fucking yard signs out. Right. He had 100. Hey, that's his thing. Right now, if he does that once a month or he does it every other week, awesome. Right. Don't wait until you have no fucking jobs to put yard signs out. Yeah. Right. Tell yourself, hey, I'm going to put out 5,000 yard signs a year. If that's your thing, I don't give a shit. Right. I hate yard signs. Fucking hate them. Right. They're shit for the environment. They're fucking waste. They're polluting. They look like shit. Everyone fucking hates them.
Are you talking about yard signs or bandit signs?
What's the fuck? Which ones? What a bandit?
A bandit sign or a yard sign?
The fuck's the difference? What are you talking
about? A yard sign is like a sign you would put in somebody's yard after you finish a job. A bandit sign is like something you'd see at an intersection.
Yeah, all the same shit. Yeah, we put yard signs at our customers' houses when they allow us. Sure. Fine. Yes, fine. That's more of a traditional, homeowner. Yeah. Fine. A bandit sign. I don't give a shit. That must be a St. Louis thing. I never heard of a bandit sign. The shit signs that are on every off-ramp and every fucking intersection. Yeah. And chances are I'm sitting in that left turning lane already angry that I'm waiting for the fucking arrow. I don't want to look at your sign. So if your goal is 5,000 yard signs, that means you got to put 100 out each week. Not 500 this week and then, business is slow. Let me go put out another 500. Right. So what the question is, what you should do on Nothing of It's Sunday, right? Do what's been working and be consistent about it. And be consistent about it even when you're working, right? Maybe you had a kick-ass day and there's a networking event at night and you're like, I don't give a shit. I already made my money and I'm dirty and I'm nasty and I'm filthy. Nope. Go to the fucking networking event, right? Schedule your time to cold call and cold knock. When you find yourself not enough time to do business development, hire someone. Hire someone to run the truck or hire someone to run the business development. Otherwise, you're going to have this constant up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down roller coaster of entrepreneurship. And that is every entrepreneur. Right? Yep. Figure out what marketing efforts can run in the background. If you're making money on Facebook, awesome. The Logan and his buddy, they were on the podcast maybe 6-9 months ago down there in Daytona Beach, Florida, right? Junkless junk removal. Those guys are posted every single day on Facebook, right? That's their hustle. Every day they post on Facebook. That's their thing. Okay, post every day, right? When you're slammed with jobs, post. When you're not slammed with jobs, post. Right? Yeah. It's about consistency over time. And when you ain't got shit else to do on a Sunday, for me, I pound the pavement. That's what I do. I'll throw it to you, Jack. Poof. Yeah. It's Sunday. You have no fucking work. What are you doing?
Yeah, so I'm with you. I'm a pavement pounder as well. I'm out trying to make as many connections as I possibly can. Two differences. The first one, before I'm out, I'm making sure that I'm posting on social media.
Yep.
We post every single day on our business account, my personal account, my business partner's personal account, and in every single real estate investor buy, sell, trade community group that'll allow us to post. Every day, 7 days a week. We're getting over 1,000 posts a month. And it's just like you said, Andy, I want to make sure that when people think junk removal, people think demolition, they think of me. So that's that there. The only difference that I would say as far as the pounding the pavement is I think and maybe you are as well, and you just didn't allude to it, but I'm extremely specific on who my client is. Yep. So I'm going out and I'm trying to target, for me, I really like B2B sales. I'm trying to target the client that's going to give me multiple jobs. In my mind, it's hey, it takes me just as long to have a conversation with somebody who's going to give me one job as it does somebody who's going to be able to give me 10. So if I'm in front of somebody, I'm getting in front of the person that's going to give me 10 jobs. So I would say that's, but basically what you're saying there, we're pretty consistent for sure.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, it is. Well, yeah, you're saying we're saying the same thing. B2B to C, right? Yeah, when I go to a realtor's office, I want to talk to a realtor. Yep. Who's going to talk to the broker? Who's going to get me in front of 50 agents, and they're all going to sell 10 houses this year, and now that's 500 houses, right? Versus one. Oh no, we're on the same page there. And same with senior living. I like to get into senior living because every month someone's moving in, someone's moving out. So my relationship is with the senior living facility, not with the families. Until it's with the families, right? The handoff, handoff comes with the family. So no, we're speaking the same language, or absolutely. And to your point, it is about priority management and my time, absolutely. Right? So same thing with networking events, right? There's some networking events where there's 8 to 10 people there, and you have a great personal relationship with them, and they can be as beneficial as a group where it's 50 people and you kind of all just casually know each other.
For sure.
So go to where it makes sense. That ultimately is the key,
Absolutely. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And go one step further and really define who your client is.
Yeah, you have to You have to know what to do before you go and do it. Taylor's yelling at me again because my video is jacking up. Let me hop out and hop back in. I'm just gonna keep doing this shit today, I suppose. Actually, Taylor, Jack Taylor yelled at me. Taylor just said RIP internet on a Monday. Jack, tell us about a memorable job. I'm gonna hop out and hop back in.
Yeah, for sure. So there's one kind of aha moment that I had, especially when it comes to a demo job that we did. It was tearing down a garage, and I've done several garage demos now, from taking down the entire structure. The first one that we did, I bid it at, I think it was $4,300. That was removing the structure. It was a stick and stone, or it was a stick frame structure. We tore that thing down, and we also removed the pad. But we did it all by hand and with Sawzalls. Went in there, started doing it. Like I said, $4,300. Took me 2 days.
Yep.
The next time I demoed a garage, we got it for $5,000. I rented a skid loader, and I did the job in 3.5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Have the right equipment.
Yeah,
I spent $500 renting that skid loader.
Yeah, and save tons of hours, and you're back.
It was so much more fun. We got a ton of great content out of it, and we got content out of it that got us the same types of jobs. The same types of jobs were big ticket jobs that we got done fast, and it's fun. I mean, I don't know if you have experience with a skid loader, Andy, but they're a lot of fun to drive.
Oh yeah, no, I grew up on job sites and construction sites, and hell, I ran a skid steer in the Army. There was I was out at we were on a 3-week training exercise, and there's in the military we call it area beautification. Basically, like 10% of the people have to fucking clean up the fob. The fob is forward operating base.
Yeah.
And they had a skid steer there, and I was a truck driver, and our whole unit was truck drivers. And they're like, "Hey, does anyone know how to use a skid steer?" And I like raised my hand. Of course, like my adage in the Army was always, if I volunteer for everything, they can't make me do anything, right? And so I was like, I know how to run a skid steer. And so for the next we were out in this fob for 3 weeks, living in the fucking dirt. And for a week straight, I basically just sat in a skid steer, moving sandbags and moving shit, and everyone fucking hated me because I was the only one in the skid steer. And after like 2 days of it, I was bored out of my fucking mind.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, Casey, even like a mini axe, I get on a fucking little mini axe, I fart around, I fucking love it. But after about an hour, I'm like, all right, I'm fucking over it. I also live on a farm, and I have tractors and backhoes, and so
it's a little different for you.
Yeah, well, I grew up on that shit. Like, I grew up on it, and I'm still a fucking kid that loves Tonka trucks, right? Like, I'll fuck with that. I drove a dump truck for 3 years when I did concrete work. I ran whenever they needed loads, ran of dirt, for backfill or gravel. Sure. We just, we normally get the 25 yard dump trucks. So whenever we needed little loads, I would run the little, small dump truck. I mean, small dump truck is still, 20,000 pounds, right? It's 8 or 10K. Fucking slow as shit. The one was a 5-speed, the other one was a 18-speed. Where you're just, by the end of the day, driving city streets, driving one of those, my left leg on the clutch is worn out. Like, you're not walking, you're not jumping. No, it's like it's fun for an hour.
Right.
That's the thing. Like, growing up, I my pedigree is to run a junk removal company. Like, I did demo for my dad. I grew up on a farm. I run equipment. I work for UPS. I work for waste management. I understand logistics, and all this shit that I've done got me to this point. It's very logical. Oh yeah, here you are kind of mindset,
Right.
I say I still love all that shit. Hell, every once in a while I get here on the forklift and I go, we use totes. We dump totes into our 8-yarders. It's like I'll go fucking pound totes for like a half hour to clear my fucking mind. I'll put an AirPod in, listen to music, and just go dump totes. So I'm like, yep. Or we use our forklift to crush furniture that we can't recycle or reuse. So I'll sit there and crush couches with a forklift. It's not even oddly satisfying. It's totally fucking satisfying.
Oh, I would imagine so.
I am not opposed to doing dumb shit.
I would argue
total tangent.
That's not dumb at all. You're saving money on dump fees. You're fitting more into your truck.
No, but I can also pay a guy $17-18 an hour to do it. Like, that's where it's like, I'm worth a lot more. I'm worth a lot more than $18 an hour to my company.
Right, but man, every now you need to do that $18 an hour task to get your mind right.
Yeah, my checkout place I bought a sweeper this last year at Waste Expo. So it's like you press it and it like 42-inch fucking cleans the floors. That's what I'll do. I'll walk behind that thing for like a half hour. Because again, it is satisfying, and also it takes no brains. And when I need to walk and process information, that's what I do. Right? Because forklift, you have to be aware. Right? It's not like total check your brain out. Like when I do brainless work, it's got to be brainless. I mean, it's like just fucking push the goddamn broom kind of work.
Yeah, turn it off. Yeah, and it's good for your guys to see you doing that.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. Some of the guys that have never banged jobs with me, they don't understand it. And then I'll show up to a job site and bang it out with them, and they're like, "Oh shit, you know what you're doing?" I'm like, "Yeah, I know what I'm fucking doing." Yeah. Right? I can go hard for like 2 fucking hours, and then I'm out of it. I'm like, "I'm fuck out of here." I just get tired. I'm old. Broke my damn finger playing volleyball. Like, I don't even have a cool story. I'm 40 now. I'm an old man in this industry.
Yeah, for sure. There's times like that for us now, especially after we knock out a demo job. I can remember the carpenters coming in after us on like Friday morning or whatever and be like, "Hey, you guys been here all week? How'd you do?" I'm like, "No, we've been here since Wednesday."
Yeah.
We don't get paid by the hour. No, we're getting paid by
the project. Let's fucking crank. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm totally with you there. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, when my brother and I did the math, when him and I used to bang jobs, it was 45 minutes a trailer. That was like our standard. We could fucking do it every time.
Yep.
It's coming out of the basement, fine, make it an hour.
Right.
because we're just cranking. And then as you add employees, as you scale, right, you lose those efficiencies along the way, right? There's a natural efficiency loss. The goal is to find that sweet spot wherein you're hiring guys, paying them good living wages that are, making mission, right, and producing at the dollars per hour of revenue you need to sustain the business, right? And we monitor that every week. We're constantly tracking our KPIs. We know what our dollars per hour need to be. We know what our what we have, right? It's I used to have a green, yellow, red methodology, and I got rid of that shit, right? It is a green, or how do I say it? It's red or green, nothing in between. That's it. Either we hit our fucking number or we didn't.
Yeah.
Right. So the break-even number has to be above that fucking goal, or has to be below that goal number, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Like Mike, our ops guy, we were talking about marketing initiatives, and mine's always a 10x return, right?
Yeah.
So hillbilly math, 10% customer acquisition cost means a 10x return, right? So a $200 investment needs to yield us $2,000.
Right.
My break-even on it is 5 to 1, right? So I can do 5 if I'm going to run something for 60 days or 90 days. If it goes 5 to 1 in the first 90 days, we haven't broke even yet. However, it has some legs. I'll run it for another 90 days, right? And the goal is after 6 months, it's at least a 10 to 1 ROI, right? And then anything north of 10 to 1 ROI, it's green. That's it. That's all. That's what we're going for, right? And if it's less than 5 to 1 ROI after 90 days, we fucking take it out back and shoot it, and we never talk about it again. So I advertised in LinkedIn this last year. I did a 90-day run on LinkedIn. Not a good use of my fucking money.
Yeah.
So here we are, not talking about it again, right? We're just talking. We were starting to see a trend upward. Even I shared you the numbers, just from last year. This year, last year was about 20% online. This year is about 25. We saw an increase in our Facebook, and we're like, oh, if Facebook's working, let's put some of the same content on LinkedIn, see how that does. Well, didn't fucking work. Right. So now we scratch that itch. So now we can move on with our lives. It's that simple. So having those thresholds, whether it's your revenue per hour or whatever, your KPIs for a reason. That will give you the vitals of your business.
Yep.
It's like you go to the hospital and like your vitals are all good and you got a fucking broken arm. It's like, well, you gotta it only tells you so much.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You still gotta fix the broken arm, right? And same with your KPIs. People argue with me from time to time because I'm writing another book. The next book I'm writing is called Numbers Fucking Matter. Yeah. And so it's lean into the data that scares you the most. And I talk about this episode. I talk about on this show the importance of data. There's more to it than data. Like, you're right. It's a starting point.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
well,
without your data, all you have is gut or instinct or anecdotal, maybe it'll work. Right? No, having cold, hard facts will aid you with your testing your assumption and making decisions. It's all part of orienting yourself to the facts at hand before you make a decision and you act.
Absolutely. This is exactly why I got a degree in accounting. You got to know. It's the foundation. It's 100% the foundation. If you don't know it, you can't go anywhere from there.
Yep. And it's a measurable thing. It is clear and objective. Yeah. Numbers don't fucking lie. That's it. That's the beautiful thing about data. Data don't lie.
We started implementing a weekly scorecard that we have. So we don't have an admin. Well, we do have an admin, but it's a virtual assistant. And she sent a scorecard, which I guess I'll get it tomorrow morning. We get it on Tuesdays. Yep. But it's revenue from the prior week, number of jobs, average ticket price, how many labor hours we spent, and dump fees. And one other tip that for your audience, we track every single dump fee that we have on a spreadsheet, and then we look at it on a weekly basis. The reason being is about a year ago this time, we had a bad egg of an employee, didn't realize it, and my dump fee started going down. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. We're saving money. And come to find out, he was refusing to fill the truck up all the way. And we have a minimum when we go to the dump. So we were actually, in the long run, we were spending per visit, we were spending less. But in the long run, we were spending more because we were taking more trips.
So he was throwing like a half a truck on, so he was a drive time fucking a windshield ranger.
Exactly. He was filling it about 80%. About 80% full. Yeah. Yeah. So, but anyway, so we track that. And then for me, my biggest indicator is I know that the business is extremely healthy. If we're based on just those numbers, obviously I know there's more cost of goods sold than that, but just on those numbers, if we're hitting a 70% gross profit on those, we're cooking. We're really cooking.
Yeah, that is about the industry average. I tell people the perfect business from my perspective in this industry, and this is, you got to be fucking screaming across the board. It is 30, 30, 30, 10. So it is 30% cost of goods sold, 30% fixed expense, 30% profit, 10% reinvest. Right?
Yeah.
That is like the fucking everything. Like, and when we were running out of our backyard, we were fucking there. Now, it was not scalable backyard because I had $60,000 in fucking fines from the city of Milwaukee knocking on my door. So apparently, you're not allowed to run a residential junk removal company out of your backyard.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it too loud for my municipality here.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Okay. So, historically, 30% COGS is good. What's his face? Happy Junk Removal down there in Arizona. That guy Dallas is in. I think he's down to like 22%. Like, doesn't fuck around. Like, he keeps his layer below 20%. I mean, that guy is fucking tight. But he also has 2 crews, and he like obsesses over it. So, like, God bless. With your business, like the more traditional business, right? You're probably at 30% COGS, 50%, somewhere between 30 and 50% fixed expense, right?
Yeah.
And then you're at 20 to 30% profitability, right? When I've met people that are like, oh, I'm at 50% profit. I'm like, cool. You're not scaling then because you don't have enough fixed expense to build. Like, that means you have 2 trucks and they're at 100% capacity. You don't have a 3rd truck. You don't have someone to answer the phone because you're answering it, right? Like, you are sacrificing scale for profit today.
Yeah, absolutely. We just went out and started a new marketing campaign. I'm like I said, a big boots on the ground. We don't spend hardly any money on marketing.
Yep.
We don't do any Google ads. Our website is okay. It gives us maybe a lead a month. Not much there. It's a lot of us. It's referrals. A lot of us is organic social media, but I was just basically running down the numbers on growth and how we do it in a really healthy manner rather than chasing down the type of residential junk removal business that a lot of people run. And what I realized is, we've got about 8 to 10 really good clients that give us a lot of business, a lot of multiple. So we reached out to all of them and I said, hey, anybody that you can refer us, we'll pay you 5% revenue for any referral you give us for 12 months. And it got some people's attention. Since then, I landed an $8,000 job last week from one. And I've landed I'm going to bid another one today, but we've landed some big jobs, a 5-figure job and a large 4-figure job just from doing that. And the guy that I just referred him to us, I'm like, hey, just so you know, there should be a $400 check coming your way. Yeah. It was a text message introduction. That's it.
You know what? 5% customer acquisition cost is better than 10%.
Heck yeah. And I don't have to do the work.
No, correct. You sent the original email or text message or outreach, and that was it. Yeah. Commercial referral program. We are rolling. That's funny. One of my things we are rolling this out this quarter. We're testing it to roll it out later in the quarter. Is a customer referral. And I was starting to track the data, like, all right, what does that look like? What number it is? And I wrote down your 5 for 12 months. And it's like 5% for 12 months makes absolute sense,
Yeah. And here's Andy, I just bid it 5% higher.
Right. There's a way to, exactly. Yeah. And everybody, it's a win-win-win. Well, and also the person they're doing the work for, if they value the work, they value the work. Right. That's it. My price is I price to what value I bring to your company. Right. I price by cubic yardage. And if that's a value to you, you're going to pay me for that.
Absolutely.
All right. We're coming up at the end of the show here. We've been going hard for an hour, which I like. I always like fucking going hard the whole time. What's your top takeaway from today?
Yeah. So I think that, hearing some of the stuff that you're talking about, I think there's some more network I could be doing, which I'm definitely going to get after. I like some of the KPIs that you were talking about. I'm going to implement some of those. Yeah, it was fun. And it's also a lot of fun talking with, an 8-year veteran of the business. We're in growth mode. We've got a lot of potential on where we can go. And I got some really good takeaways for sure. I appreciate it.
Yep. Here we go. A&J Junk Removal Service. Enjoyed the show. Appreciate that. Thank you, A&J. Speaking of enjoying the show and A&J Junk Removal, And hell, the way that you got on here today, it's really simple. I have this super high speed methodology to be on the show. All you have to do is send me an email. Hell, you can send me a Facebook message. I think you got on via Facebook Messenger or something, right? And I will set you up with my buddy Taylor. Taylor is our producer. He will set you up on the show. And Jack can attest for it. It is simple. Taylor sends you the thing, and then I get on, I verify how to say your last name, and then I press the buttons and we talk. That is, I cannot express to you how simple that is to be on the podcast. I also told, I've been talking about this very openly on our podcast here. We've gone through some changes on the podcast for the last couple months. Casey left the podcast to get into real estate more full time. And I thought about sunsetting the podcast. And after some reflection, I said, hey, I'm gonna do episodes as long as I have great guests. And several people have reached out. When we had those, I think 2 or 3 week hiatus, people were reaching out to me like, hey, Andy, I really look forward to this. This means a lot. Our industry needs it. Whatever, just really nice things. And it reaffirmed the purpose I have in this world. Mark Twain talks about the 2 most important days in your life are the day you're born and the day you figure out why. And occasionally people will come by and tell you why you're in their life. And so I've had the fortunate pleasure over the last 118 episodes to share what I know today and learn, right? Hell, Jack, I wrote down 5% for 12 months. I wrote down your breakdown, 50% demo, 40% commercial, 10% residential junk removal, right? These things matter to me. Ultimately, this grows my business. This is a great use of my time for the hour. And my ask of the audience is simple. Let me know who wants to be on the show. Who's going to be a great guest? Who do you know is going to be a great guest? And since I've really been pushing that, we've had great guests showing up. Next 3 weeks, we will be on the show because we've had 3 guests in a row. So we got a couple guests coming up, and then we'll take off Labor Day week. Next week, a little teaser, Carol Vandencourt. Carol and I used to work together years ago. She was one of the first people I hired when I was launching franchises across the country. She took on the Madison market. She ended up taking that franchise model out to the East Coast, and she recently had an exit. So she's going to talk about what it's like to exit a junk removal company. So very specific, especially for those listeners that want to exit someday. And then week after that, we have Ronnie Knuckles coming on. Ronnie Knuckles is, I want to say a coach. I don't know. Ronnie Knuckles. That's all I know about him. That's the extent of the. Maybe Taylor can tell me. Anyways, you got a name like Ronnie Knuckles. It's going to be a good fucking time. That's all I know about that. All right. Let's get to it. Top takeaways, Jack. Top takeaways from what you saw today.
Yeah, for sure. So as I kind of alluded to it, there's some numbers there that you're tracking that implement pretty much right away.
Yep.
I think that there's we've been very specific with our networking and our boots on the ground marketing. I think there's a little more we could be doing there. So I think some takeaways for me is I got some awesome growth opportunity out of this.
Yeah. No, my top takeaway is I learned years ago when I first started in business, a mentor of mine, Carl Munkwitz with First Weber First Weber Realtors, who are doing a golf outing for on Wednesday. I'm crossing wires in my brain. Carl Munkwitz, he said to me, Andy, for every mentor you have that's 10 years older than you, find a mentor that's 10 years younger than you. And that's absolutely dead on, right? Some people may say, oh, I've only been in this industry 18 months. The fuck do I know? Well, I've been doing this for 15 years, 8 years full-time. And Jack, you shared 2 or 3 things today, including the referral piece that you shared, right? That I'm going to take with me, right? It's one of those like old dog, new tricks kind of situation. I love learning from people in this industry, seeing their perspective to challenge my blind spots, to challenge my conventional wisdom. Otherwise, my goal is to not be old grumpy man on porch, right? So in order to do that, I got to be willing to hear and listen to, new things that I hadn't considered before. Sure. All right. Awesome. Appreciate the time. Jack, stick around for a second for the recording's sake. For everybody else, I'm Andy Weins on behalf of Taylor, our producer, and our guest, Jack Lauber. This has been another amazing week on the Trash Talk Business Podcast, and we will see you next week.
Thanks for listening. Tap subscribe or follow to get the latest episode. And if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to leave us a review and tell a friend to listen. To learn more, visit trashtalkbusinesspodcast.com. Bye now.